Alright, so we're going to be checking out this video apparently from Sneaky Sushi, like horrible rooms for rent, so yeah, let's go.
You know, I remember when I was staying in my university dorm room.
Really?
I
Dang, so means who?
absolutely hated it. My tiny single room was on the first floor of the building at the absolute corner of the building. And it was along this dark, sketchy corridor. Like it was the perfect setting for a true crime murder documentary. The room itself was dimly lit. It was tiny, of course, and I remember I pasted an A4 paper on my wardrobe and on it I wrote in huge font, smile.
Thanks so much,
yeah,
man.
I know I was going through some rough shit back then, but the dorm room certainly did not help my mental state. What I'm trying to say is the dorm room absolutely sucked. And now singles in Singapore can go through the same pain that I experienced with this newly launched rental apartments for singles in Singapore. Yay, have a gander at how it looks like. I'm sure a few of you have seen this image floating around recently. This is the newly launched dorm rooms for low-income singles, which also kind of reminds me of my army bunk room that I stayed in for 2 months during my basic military training. Look, they even have the same metal locker that I used in army, except mine was bigger. Also, the reason why the room is so oddly shaped is because it was supposed to be part of a bigger room, but they decided to intentionally partition right down the middle of the room. Hence why there's this weird half window, which is good because, hey, at least you won't feel lonely when you hear your neighbor jacking his sloppy salami at 2 a.m. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, this looks extremely depressing. Like, I'd rather stay with my family than to live here in this prison cell. Speaking of prison, even Norway's prison cells look 10 times better than this. I mean, this is Singapore, man. I think we can do a little bit better than this piss-colored room. Yeah, this project feels rushed and haphazardly put together. It's definitely not homely at all. The colors are depressing, and for goodness sake, what are we even supposed to store in this locker? It can barely fit anything. You know, just because this new scheme is for low-income, single Singaporeans, doesn't mean we should scrimp and save on the design, right? I mean, they're humans too. At least make it look homely.
How much is it to
this
use a new coat of paint,
is the communal dining room. Wow. Which looks like a study room. And it actually is a study room because this entire compound is converted from Anderson Junior College Hostel. And it doesn't seem like they did anything to this room. I don't think they refitted or changed anything in this room, right? Other than giving it a new label, the communal dining room. You know, while we're at it, we might as well give it a spicier name. Why not go all out and call it the Scandinavian style singles cafe, bruh. Where you face a blank wall while chowing down on your instant noodles. I guess the only good thing about this room is the huge windows, which, you know, thankfully,
but like, how cheap is it though?
At least there's like natural sunlight flowing into the room, right? This is the kitchen, the pantry area, which you'll be sharing with 24 other tenants. And oh, look, there is a window, which is good because at least you have natural light coming in once again. I don't know why I'm trying to sell you this place. Why am I speaking like a property agent? Alright guys, this is your new kitchen. We have a brand new flooring and also 5 induction stove, top of the line induction stove where you can cook your instant noodles. Very comfy and cozy room. You know, I'm thinking perhaps this was done intentionally, like, you know, making it look depressive and sad. Cause think about it, like in Singapore, it feels like you'll be seen as a bane, a disgrace, and an unproductive citizen of Singapore if you are single and in your mid-30s, right? Like, what are you doing with your life? You haven't started a family, you're single, ew. What are you contributing to society? You're not even contributing to our declining birth rate. So perhaps this is prison for you low-life singles in your mid-30s. Ew. I mean, imagine this was a beautifully designed one-room apartment made by the government at an affordable rate. People would be incentivized to stay single because, hey, we can always just rent this beautiful one-room apartment. That's a normal thing in Singapore. Like, we would have an attractive housing option if you were a single person in your mid-30s instead of your usual BTO where you would have to apply with a partner. Yeah, if you're a single person in your 30s, you don't really have a vast array of options when it comes to living alone in Singapore. You would either have to A, rent a private property like a condo, which is already quite pricey, or B, if you are above 35 years old, buy an entire HDB flat, which is just crazy expensive. Or if you don't mind staying with flatmates, you can rent a single room in an HDB flat. But for me, I prefer staying alone because I just enjoy my privacy and I don't want to have to make awkward small talk with my other flatmates. But that said, this new project is the very start. It's still in its pilot phase where this new single singles model is being tested out, hence the very bare bones look. And of
I
course,
hope
this
it will look
is
better,
better
though.
than nothing, right? Like, it beats rough sleeping on the streets. So I guess at least you would have a roof above your head. I just think the facilities can afford to look a little bit more unprison-like, you know, a little bit more homely. Or even better, Singapore could be the one setting the standard for tiny home living for singles. Like, I know there are plenty of examples in Europe and Japan. I feel like it's just a matter of whether we want to do it or not. As a single person renting in Singapore, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this. Yep, bye.
It actually makes a lot of sense, though. What do you think, though? I think it's pretty decent, but I kind of have to see the price. If the price is like really low, like maybe like $300-400, I think it's worth it. If not, like around maybe $500+. But if not, you know, I think renting a room might be better, honestly. Yeah.